Welcome to the EXCELcast mini-episode. My name is Mark Clague. I'm the Director of Entrepreneurship and Career Services here at the University of Michigan School of Music, Theater, and Dance, and I'm here with Cassidy Goldblatt and Kellen Degnan to talk about Converge. What is Converge?
So Converge, the idea really got started with an idea that Cassidy had for a string quartet that would spend a semester focusing exclusively on works composed by University of Michigan student composers. And we enjoyed the project so much that we wanted to expand it beyond just a string quartet, and we wanted to act as facilitators for other people to experience what we had also experienced, and basically act as a platform to provide University of Michigan student composers to have their works widely performed and seriously studied, just as any classic work might be.
Mm-hmm. So typically a string quartet would spend a whole semester with Beethoven, with Mendelssohn, something like that. You might do a new work by a colleague who's a composer, but that might be put together at the last minute with no really support or rehearsal time.
Exactly.
You play it once, you move on.
Right.
You wanted to do something in more depth, deepen your relationship to the piece, give the piece a little bit more time to grow and sort of
let it breathe and let it evolve.
And so you create, instead of just an experience, you actually create an organization, right? So you call Converge as a new music initiative.
Right.
So what are you going to initiate?
Well, we are, like Kellen said, initiating a platform through which composers can not only have their works seriously studied and performed, but also can develop lasting relationships with performers. We want for performers to know what's going on in their school and to really be involved in the progress of our field, because as we all know, no work in our standard repertoire was always, in the canon. It always had to start off somewhere.
All music was new music.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's great.
And we also want to really provide a platform to share this music with the Ann Arbor community and with the rest of the U-M community as well. And to do that, we would like to start bringing in dancers and visual artists.
So you'll continue to have concerts and performances going forward.
Exactly. And hopefully new music festivals that involve collaboration with departments all throughout our school, the School of Music, Theater, and Dance, and perhaps even other areas of the university.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. So you were among our first round, or actually you were among our first round of EXCELerator projects, and you got $1,000. So what'd you do with $1,000?
Well, we
put on a concert. What did we have? 8 groups in the end?
Yes.
We had
20
8
performers.
Chamber groups. At least one new premiere.
Yeah, I think it had a couple premieres actually, and we
all works by either recent graduates of the University of Michigan composition program or current students of the composition program.
Most of them were current students, and we had at least about 20 performers involved. We held it at the music school. We also did a couple flash mob concerts in Pierpont and around town to get people interested. It actually brought some people into our audience, which is what we were hoping for. And we had got professional quality recordings, which we were able to provide to the composers afterwards. It's very important for them, especially as they apply to graduate school and they need good quality recordings of their works. Or in some cases, beyond graduate school, of course.
And of course, the idea of multiple performances, we encouraged the performers who we had brought into this project to perform on like the composition concerts that are already in place at University of Michigan, despite the fact that, the composition concert was 2 days before.
It's true.
It's just nice to, again, allow a piece to grow.
Yeah, so what does it mean for you, to play new music or to play new music more than once? You're both performers, right?
Right, yeah.
So what's in it for you?
You learn something new every time you look at a piece.
You do, and you really kind of develop a relationship with that piece and with the people you're working with, and it's pretty incredible. Some of the pieces that we've played, by the final performance, it was almost like like the piece came alive in a way that never happened before. And it would take a good 5 public performances to get to that point. And I think it's incredibly rewarding for a musician to feel that connection with the music and be able to share it with the audience. And even in the final concert that we put on, many of the audience members were coming up to us afterwards and just talking about how exciting and how much they felt that they could engage with the music and they could sense the performer's engagement and really, really enjoy that and appreciate it. Even some people who are elderly and were not accustomed to hearing new music at all. It was pretty incredible.
That's great. So what kinds of takeaways, would you have to summarize what you've learned or discovered through this process of taking an idea, putting together a grant proposal, getting that success of winning the grant, right? But then making your project happen? What did you learn?
The biggest thing that I took away was if you want someone to do something for you, you need to ask them face to face.
So an email doesn't do it.
An email does not usually do it. Even if you're like good friends with the person and you know them really well, the cyber world is like somewhere off in like somewhere else, and people aren't totally connected to it, despite you have your face shoved in your phone all day, but you're not really connected to that world somehow. So having a face-to-face interaction with someone is a way better it's a better way to get something done and to make a connection happen.
Right. And it helps develop relationships. I think that's the main way to help something like this project spread further, is to really engage with your peers and try to get them involved on a personal level. And I think also something that we learned was that you might not know where something's going exactly, and it might seem very scary from the get-go. I mean, it was pretty terrifying, I will admit, to put on a full concert with 8 different groups and try to organize all of that. But if you have passion for it and dedication, and you learn to sort of go with the flow and do what you have to do, you can have some pretty amazing results, I think, and it can be very rewarding.
So Cassidy, you graduated this year?
That's
right?
true.
So how did you do all this while you were also finishing up requirements, doing your own recitals and everything?
Well, a great team, fantastic team. We all kind of pitched in and helped make it come together, and I think that's incredibly important. It was not an easy year, and I think I kind of survived just by taking one thing at a time. So when something happened and I had to get it done, that's what I focused on. And it's wonderful to be able to do things on a slightly less, hectic plane of thought.
Well, I'm really struck by the fact you talk about the team, right? Because usually when we're thinking of music study, we talk about the individual person in the studio with their teacher. It's about your skill. You're going to audition, right? It's about you.
That's true. Yeah.
And now you're sort of saying that both of you, in different ways, that it's about these relationships, that it's about us.
Definitely.
And is that a particular insight that came out of this?
I think so. I think that's part of why we took on the project, the idea of collaborating, being able to create something that's larger than yourself. And I think that's something we lose in our solo practicing sometimes, and even in the academic side of things, and perhaps even in the compositional side of things, is forgetting that it's not just about your craft, but when you can really work with people around you and you all put your artistic abilities into play, it can make something that has a greater impact on the community. And
you learn things from other people
you
that you wouldn't
it's
learn
huge.
Just sitting in a practice room by yourself.
Right. Even things like practice techniques, but also ideas for. We had so many ideas about how this organization should work that came out when we were all interacting together, and no one of us had, all the pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. I'm just thrilled that you were part of our first year of EXCELerator project.
We were very happy to be a part of it.
I'm really looking forward to next year's performance, and then just the fact
Thank
that
you.
Converge is not just a one-time thing, but it's something that's going to live on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you at EXCEL for making this happen. It really wouldn't have happened without you all.
It was our honor.